The conservative Lincoln Project is out with another new ad, this time going after Donald Trump's paranoia. Take a look.
Biden now leads the president.
He's going to be your president.
Why do you think you're losing, Donald?
Because some people don't love me, maybe.
It's because you've got a loyalty problem.
Loyalty problem.
They're in your campaign.
They're in your campaign.
Your White House.
Your White House.
In Congress.
In Congress.
Even your own family.
Your own family.
They whisper about you.
They whisper about you.
They leak, spin, lie. They tell the media they're smart and you're out of control.
And you're out of control.
That you can't focus.
Can't focus.
That you're mentally and physically weak.
Physically weak.
That you hide in your bunker,
Scared
and shaky. Laugh when you can't walk down a ramp or drink water. All of them.
They're in your campaign.
The ones you know and the ones you don't know.
The ones you don't know.
Whispering about you.
Whispering about you. The ones you don't know.
They expect you to
They
lose.
expect you to lose.
They want the media to like them and to get one last big payday before you go down.
Go down.
With so many leaks, you probably think it could be anyone.
So many leaks.
Donald,
It could be anyone.
it's everyone.
It's everyone.
Damn. Merciless. Wow. All right. So there's a lot that I like about this ad. But the thing I like the most is that it's true. You don't think the people around Trump know that he's an idiot and that he can be easily played for money? Yep. The other thing, of course, I like is the whispery, right? They just had to add that extra whisper, right? And then, of course, that's the title of the ad, Whispers. And so that lady, she's like back there like, it's everybody. They're all screwing you over. They're taking your money. Oh, it's so good. Oh, I love it. All right. So now, getting back to the point, though, right? So now, yes, it is true. A lot of people around Donald Trump only use him for money. For example, look at Brad Parscale, right? Brad Parscale was a nobody that ended up making millions off Donald Trump. Now he owns a $2.4 million waterfront property and he owns a Ferrari. He's doing pretty good for himself, right? You think that guy gives a damn if Donald Trump wins or loses? No. The guy already got paid. The same with all of these different campaign ads. For example, Garrett Lansing. Lansing owns a payment processing company, right? So he started that while as a staffer at the National Republican Congressional Committee, the NRCC. And he continued to run it while he worked at the Republican National Committee. He has taken $1.7 million in not campaign contributions, but campaign spending for his services. Katie Walsh, briefly a Trump White House aide and former RNC chief of staff, received $877,000 through her firms. Richard Walters, who at the age of 30 is currently the chief of staff, makes $244,943 a year in salary, but last year was paid an additional $135,000 through his own consulting firm. Since the Trump presidency began, he has been paid a total of $755,324. It's a lot of money. Laura Trump, wife of Eric Trump, Kimberly Guilfoyle, girlfriend of Donald Trump Jr. and current COVID patient, are now also both receiving $15,000 a month of campaign money that is routed through Parscale's companies. So that's money that was hidden from public view. And I wonder how much of that Donald Trump really knows. How much of that spending? You think Donald Trump's sitting around looking at what his campaign is spending money on? Do you really think that's happening? Do you really think he's paying attention? Of course not. Why would he? He's got these great people. And so these great people are like, I don't know, let's divert money here. Let's put it here. Let's do it here. And make sure that all of our friends get paid. I wonder who else is on the grift. Now, that said, it's kind of the problem that Democrats have, right? The Democratic establishment, I should say, right? So there are highly paid consultants in the Democratic Party that are also getting paid whether or not they win or lose. That was one of the problems Hillary Clinton had, right? She had those consultants, very, very wealthy consultants that made tons of money and still helped to drive her campaign into the ground. Again, getting paid whether or not they win or lose. And so they still put forward the same terrible campaign strategy. Well, what's happening in the Trump campaign right now? They're also putting together the same strategy that they did it in 2016, even though the the environment is vastly different than it was before back in 2016. You can't run the same kind of campaign twice, especially if your campaign is herder government bad, right? Herder in administration is terrible. But wait a minute, it's your administration. You've been in power for 4 years. And so now you actually have to go and defend the things that you did and the things that you didn't do. And so there's that, right? But there's more. With Trump, as I said before, he surrounds himself with the best people, the greatest people, even though his, you know, the fact that the administration has had a record turnover because I guess the swamp is draining itself, I guess. Yeah, that must be it. No, conmen and grifters always surround themselves with other conmen and grifters. For example, Omarosa Manigault Newman, right? So she worked in the Trump administration and she was all, oh my God, Trump's the greatest person ever. As soon as she gets fired, she puts out a book and says, I can't believe how many times Donald Trump said the N-word around me. There's more, right? Former press secretary Sean Spicer, right? Made money. Fired FBI director James Comey. Made money. I got more on him later. Former White House communications director Hope Hicks. Made money. Now she's working in the Trump campaign. Former National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster. All of these people have made cash, whether through being against Trump or for Trump, but all because of their connections to Trump. And at least 20 books will have been written about Trump's political dealings in his first administration, or his first term alone. Several of them by members of the administration, of course, Washington insiders, staff members, FBI officials, politicians, advisors, and other journalists. By the way, I'm making a bold prediction here. Kellyanne Conway is going to write a book, especially if Donald Trump loses this election. She's going to write a book saying, I can't believe what a terrible president Donald Trump was. She's probably writing it right now. Who knows? And look, we still don't know who that anonymous person who said, don't worry, the adults are in the room. Don't worry about Donald Trump. That's why we're not going to use the 25th Amendment. We don't know who that person is. Who are they? Who is he or she? We don't know. But my guess is Donald Trump loses. That person comes out and exposes themselves in a book. Because of course, right? Of course. But look, the point of this is quite simple, right? This ad is to tell the truth about the people around Donald Trump. And also they make some excellent digs on Donald Trump. Oh, you're weak. Oh, you can't go, you struggle going down a ramp. You can't, drink a glass of water with one hand. I mean, just the digs are fantastic. I love it. And the effect that they're going for is obvious. It's to play on Donald Trump's paranoia. Because he is deeply paranoid. He's concerned about one thing, loyalty. He's asked officials like James Comey whether or not they were loyal to Donald Trump. Not the United States, but to Donald Trump, right? And if you're not loyal, well, you're a rat. You're a rat, like Michael Cohen's a rat, like Jeff Sessions is a rat. Anybody who doesn't swear loyalty to you is bad, is a rat, and therefore needs to be kicked out, eliminated, fired, whatever. And so that's what's brilliant about this ad. It was designed to get under Donald Trump's skin, and that's what Democrats are too weak to be able to do. They won't do it, right? Democrats would run ads like in 2016 about how Donald Trump is bad, or Orange Man bad, right? And look, he is. And you point out the obvious stuff, right? But Donald Trump and the Republican Party, they don't care about that, especially the Republican base. They don't care like, oh, yeah, he's sexist. Well, we're sexist. Yeah, we're racist, but we're racist in coded ways. And basically all we do is to try to divide the classes so that it makes it easier for us to pick your pocket. And so, yes, we use these racial divisions. We use these class divisions and create class warfare in which, we, of course, win. But we use racism and sexism to wage that class war. so that we can make it easier to pick your pockets because you're all fighting each other. And so that's what that is. And so, by the way, Donald Trump doesn't care about those ads. It doesn't affect him, too, from the Democrats calling him a bad person, because guess what? That feeds into his victimhood complex. So this is different, though. It really goes after what does hurt him, and it taunts him, and it tells him that everybody around him, well, they don't actually like this guy. No, they're only using you for monetary. They're not actually loyal to you, and so they're taking advantage of his insecurity. So now I'm a bad liberal because in this case, I like it. I'm okay with this. Donald Trump's a deeply dangerous man, and I'm okay with fighting fire with fire. Why? Because he has to be stopped. It's not just like a normal Republican. A normal Republican is bad enough. This guy is actually worse than the normal Republican. And I say that because he is, I mean, it's really, really obvious. And I don't think I have to explain the ways in which he's terrible when it comes to not only policy, but also rhetoric and the things that he inspires, the hate that he inspires in people, the misinformation that he spreads around, all that different stuff. So he is dangerous a little bit more than the average Republican, who is also dangerous. So that said, right? Now, the other thing about this is these kind of ads from the Lincoln Project really give us an insight into how the establishment is looking to crush populist candidates. Now, that said, like Donald Trump ran as a populist back in 2016. He's not running as a populist anymore, right? But this is the kind of stuff that they would also use to go after progressive populists, right? We know how dirty they're going to go, right? We know also that Republicans, once Donald Trump is defeated, you don't think the Republican Party, you don't think the Lincoln Project is going to turn around, or the same people in the Lincoln Project going to turn around and attack progressives? Of course they will. I mean, imagine a progressive running in 2024, right? It won't be Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, like, he's basically, his presidential aspirations are essentially over with, right? But whatever progressive ends up vying for that seat in 2024, if they even are able to do so, by the way, will have to face, if they get any measure of success, will have to face off not only against establishment Democrats, but also against these establishment Republicans, who will then turn their fire towards them. So what's interesting is that we can learn about their strategy and how, what they're willing to do and how they're able to do it, and then use that information to try to defend against it later on. So that's something to keep in mind. All right. That said, Lincoln Project, keep it up, guys. Not only are they destroying Trump and possibly the Republican Party with it, because, again, Donald Trump has an 82% approval rating among Republicans. So generally, this is a very small fringe group of never Trump Republicans that are taking aim at not only Donald Trump, but the rest of the party, because Donald Trump is the id of the Republican Party. But that Lincoln Project is also helping to understand how we can better fight you. And so, yeah, keep it up, man. Keep it up. Love it. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a patreon.com/TYTNation set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.